LethelGnu to Lethal, and today we're reacting to when did One Piece actually get good? Now, for me personally, I feel like One Piece really got good in the. It's always hard for me just to say this word, Barati. The arc that Sanji was introducing. I feel like that arc is where it actually gets good. But some people may not think so. But if it's not that arc, then I think it's the Arlong Park arc. That's like the first big boss Luffy fought, and that was like the first time we seen the Straw Hats as like a crew. You feel me? So yeah, let's hop straight into this. Also, this is brought to us by Lab Tales Journey. You feel me? I will leave your link down below, and let's hop straight into it.
I'm sure most people in the anime scene have seen at least one person go, One Piece gets good around chapter 400. And I'm here today to say that.
And I think the Arlong Park, I think that starts at like episode 30 or chapter 60. So One Piece does not take that long to get good in.
Well, it's true. Chapter 400 was a banger chapter. It was the beginning of the Straw Hats versus CP9. But that's not the point. The point of today's video is to talk about when.
Bro. There's no way people think One Piece get good that late. You know how many stuff happened, but prior to that, Alabasta happened, bro. Oh.
One Piece actually got good. And no, Naruto fans, the answer is not never. The first few arcs of One Piece leaves a little bit to be desired. It doesn't have the automatic hook of other animes like Attack on Titan or Promised Neverland, but it does have a few good moments. For example, the iconic Luffy and Shanks backstory and seeing how Zoro and Luffy team up is so nostalgic. But that's also part of the problem. To someone who doesn't know anything,
what are you saying?
And seeing how Zoro and Luffy team up is so nostalgic. But that's also part.
Please don't kill me. I swear I go back to sipping over One Piece.
Problem. To someone who doesn't know anything about One Piece, the first few arcs pale in comparison compared to other more recent animes.
Yeah.
And being quite honest, some of the beginning arcs are just straight up boring. While Orange Town had this cool premise of Luffy being in a cage, having to fight our first ever antagonist Delfruit user, at one point it was extremely stretched with Unicycle Bro and whatever this guy was taking up most of the arc. Then we head over to Syrup Village, which was just boring. Kuro had like the worst plan I've ever seen, as well as the worst posture
built so
ever.
nasty.
Like, why do you look like the average League of Legends player? But my point is, One Piece's first few arcs were a bit slow, and without the nostalgia factor, they were pretty boring and tiring to get through. God, this is the most non-One Piece fan thing I've ever said. I'm so sorry.
I mean, he's not wrong. It definitely did start off slow, but I feel like he started off slow because the creator was building up to the actual story. You feel me? Because at the start, it's like every arc they was adding a new Straw Hat. You feel me? They got Zoro, you feel me? Usopp, Nami, Sanji. You feel me? Not in that order, but that was
Anyways, now let's go back to simping over Oda.
It's like in each arc, they introduced us into a new crewmate who are
After
important
Syrup Village,
to the story.
something happened to Oda because One Piece went from a mid-show to absolute peak fiction. Baratie and Arlong Park are still some of the best arcs, and they do have what I'd argue is 2 of the top 10 moments in the entirety of the show. The Baratie was one of the most unique arc plots I've ever seen, and it did so many things so well. Firstly, the idea that in a world full of pirates, monsters, and Australia without the steroids, the biggest challenge Luffy would face is working a minimum wage job is just funny. Shout out to all you waiters and waitresses, by the way, thank you. Another thing that it did well was set up Sanji's character. Sanji's character from the very beginning was fleshed out, and we could immediately see what type of character he was.
Yep.
Horny. But nice. But mostly horny. While Luffy was trying his best, we also got to see how the crew got to relax for a bit, and they have a chill time, and oh, starving pirates. Ah shit, of course he fed them. Shit! While Don Krieg was a pretty mid-villain, we did get to see excellent character building by Oda through Sanji's flashback. It's unfortunate the character building wasn't for Don Krieg. Why did I phrase the sentence like this? While at first Sanji's decision to feed the pirates made no sense, we immediately saw the reason why he did it, and all of it clicked. It was top-tier character building from the very start. Speaking of top-tier, let's talk about Mihawk, a top-tier DILF. I mean swordsman. Mihawk versus Zoro is what truly made this arc in particular so special. Whilst before it, even though Sanji's character building was top-tier, there was nothing other than that. The plot was unique, but the villain was, well, he was bad, like, really bad. Especially his, I was gonna put a joke there, but Krieg is just really bad at everything. Like, I don't know what to say. Zoro vs. Mihawk is one of the best moments in all of One Piece, and it definitely symbolized One Piece getting so much better.
Well,
Mihawk
I don't think Zoro vs. Mihawk is one of the best. Is that,
I was gonna put a joke there, but Krieg is just really bad at everything. Like, I don't know what to say. Zoro vs. Mihawk is one of the best moments in all of One Piece.
Yeah, I don't think it's one of the best moments, but pre-time skip, it definitely was a top one, cause Zoro, he realized how far he was to his goal of being the strongest swordsman. You feel me? And I feel
And it
like that
definitely symbolized One Piece
definitely
getting so much better.
helped him.
Mihawk did a lot of things at once. Not only did he give us an extremely epic fight scene, but he also set up Zoro's character and gave Zoro a lot more depth. Before, Zoro was just an emo swordsman. Now he was a person with loyalty, honor, and, well, still an emo swordsman. He's still emo. The line scars on a back or a swordsman's shame is so hype for no reason. Seeing Zoro willing to give his entire life for honor is just so incredibly amazing for, as I said, no reason. Like, he's just T-posing, but he does it so cool. And then following all that is the iconic promise, the one that made all of us feel so many things, especially Zoro, who was feeling a lot of pain. Mihawk was the first real threat the crew.
Not gonna lie, he said he would never lose again. I don't think he lost since then, right? I'm trying to think of all the villains he's fought since then. I'm pretty sure he has not lost since
had
that.
faced, and he showed that there would be so many more struggles
Zoro's
along
the
the way in
dog.
their journey to be as strong as him, which is just so hype. Seeing just how much the crew would have to grow to get through their dreams set up One Piece to be so much more and to have so much better villains than, well, this guy. Or this guy. The fact is, Mihawk was the first good antagonist the crew had faced, and he delivered perfectly. Mihawk versus Zoro was in every way a perfect fight, even though it was a fight, similar to how Gon versus Pito or Luffy versus Charlos was a fight. It wasn't. Side note, but just the fact that all of this happened whilst Mihawk used a knife I would use to cut onions is just... Oda, how good are you?
Onions.
And then, of course, following all this was Arlong Park. While a lot of the Baratie was focused on hype moments and whatever this was, Arlong Park
Why
was
he
an
keep
arc
blaming
almost
Don
purely
Krieg?
focused on emotions. Nami's betrayal at first made us feel confused. Why had she ditched us for Arlong? Like, if she was leaving us for Mihawk, I would have been like, nice, I'm proud of you. But Arlong? This? She left us for this? However, as the plot
We learn her
continues and we get to see how her
backstory,
backstory plays out and how her life was hell, we feel so many emotions at once. We see how much she struggled, making us sad. Once we see how her money was stolen by the rat guy, we feel a sense of hopelessness for her. Nami's hopelessness, desperation, and anguish are all felt through the readers, and all of it climaxed during this scene, when she stabs herself at her shoulder and screams at Arlong. The next moment is the very moment One Piece became God tier. And that, of course, is the introduction of Nami's sister Nojiko, who's the best waifu. When Nami turns around and asks Luffy for help, not only was it the first time she's ever asked for help, but it symbolizes so much.
This I think is a top moment in the whole show.
At this point, One Piece made all of us cry. Watching Luffy put his treasure,
The scene
his
was
favorite
so
thing
fire.
ever, on her head and telling her of course he will. All of it is just such good storytelling. The fact that Oda could not only write such amazing fight scenes, but also make one of the most emotional and powerful scenes I've seen from all of anime is just breathtaking. Following an even more emotional fight where Oda managed to symbolize years of suffering with the room, I think everyone realized just how good One Piece is. Following Arlong Park and the Baratie, a lot of things became clear. For one, we realized that Oda could write insane antagonists as well as fight scenes and make you feel things. Fun fact, the fight scene also made Zoro feel things. Pain. He felt pain. I'm sorry, I'll stop reusing my jokes. After all this, we also got to see Oda write one of the most powerful scenes ever. Not only did he masterfully set up such an emotional backstory, but he managed to deliver on the climax of it all. And while I skipped over the Luffy versus Arlong fight, the walk with the crew...
Bro, Oda does not miss on scenes that are supposed to be hype and like top tier. Oda does not miss, I promise you.
was also
There's
one of
not
the
a
most
scene
hypest
that
moments
I
in the
can think
entire
of on top
show.
of my head where
And
he's
on
like
top of
missed.
all this, the fights weren't that bad. Even Usopp's fight was good. In just 2 arcs, Oda managed to show us how he can not only write god tier fight scenes, but also god tier emotional scenes and some of the best character writing I've ever seen.
His
However,
emotional scenes are so, bro.
enough
His
for at the
emotional scenes are
beginning
so
with
crazy,
my Oda
bro.
simping. Is this like average
So
out?
good.
Does this average out? So, yes, did One Piece continue getting better as it goes on? Of course it did. One Piece is constantly improving as Oda figures out what works and what doesn't, and as it goes on, I'm sure it's only going to continue to get better. But it was always top-notch. Baratie and Arlong Park are some of the best arcs he's ever written to date, so to all the new readers, don't...
Well, I don't think these are some of the best arcs written to date. Well, I don't know how caught up he is, but I don't think these are top 5 arcs
give up
in the show.
in multiple ways.
If any of you guys are watching, I'm sorry if I spoiled.
While the first few arcs may be to date, so to all the new readers, don't give up in multiple ways. While the first few arcs may be mid, everything else is peak. For the most part. Everything else is peak. For the most part. Fuck you, Foxley. So, to anyone still wondering, when does One Piece get good? The answer is chapter 953 when we get to see Zoro's boobs in all their glory.
This is a troll.
Overall, though, that's it for
Then you're watching stuff you want to feel me? Fire video, but yeah, One Piece get good in my opinion. In the Arlong Park arc is like where One Piece is like really where it starts to become a really solid show, and then after that it just kept on improving better and better. You feel me? And Arlong Park was, I'm pretty sure it's like episode 30 or 31, and in the manga, if you're gonna read the manga, it's like chapter 60 something. You feel me? That's in my opinion when One Piece gets good. But yeah, at this point, I just become like a One Piece stan account or something, bro. I watch so much stuff on this show. But yeah, feel me? Shout out to him. I will leave the video link down below. And yeah, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Have a blessed day and peace.
Then she gon' pull out the tape and tie me up, then lock me away. That bitch, she said that she hate me. I am not faced. My niggas waiting at your place. For all this shit escalate, I need to know how many niggas you've played. How did you take off your tape? She looking right at me, yeah, she swerves into the lake.